going with the process, I want to talk, let's say, about something that sometimes they, unfortunately, and I saw it happening, is missing, investors are missing, and they are not realizing that the property insurance period, or they do realize, it's a yearly insurance period, but they don't necessarily realize that there is an action in order to renew it. So can you talk a bit about the insurance policy renewal? How does it work, and what an investor should have in mind to make sure that he has a continuous coverage through the years of holding his rental properties?
It's different per company, but basically, because you guys are overseas, the email on file is what's going to matter. So like I always use the investor's email. So as long as they're monitoring their emails, that should be okay. To access any US insurance site, for the most part, you need a virtual private network, also called a VPN, or you just need to be in the US. They automatically send out renewals in advance with already a new renewal page. So it tells you your new price and you can check it. And a good renewal in insurance is any policy that either goes down, obviously, or goes up less than like $50 or $20. Like if it's like about the same or a couple dollars more, that's actually a great renewal, because the cost of materials and replacement cost and labor is going up a little teeny bit every year. So the policies tend to slowly go up.
Yeah. And what I usually recommend for investors is that, like, besides the email, take responsibility, like be proactive. You have an insurance policy in place the first year, great. I usually, for my portfolio, for my properties, and what I recommend to my investor client, just put like a reminder in your email or your calendar, recurring yearly, renew insurance. So, you just get it pop up. If you get the email, it's great. But if not, you can also be proactive about it and, take the responsibility and be proactive rather than reactive. And I want to talk with you about one more thing, if we go together through the process, and talk about the claims, something you mentioned several times. And I wanted to talk with you about the claim process. Like when there is a claim, if there is a claim, we talked about the consideration. Should I put a claim like, the damage amount, the deductibles, and the impact on the insurance? But in terms of the process, let's say a landlord decided to process a claim. Can you walk us through in general, how does it look like and what a landlord should do for him to be aware once he puts a claim, what is his responsibility to do?
Obviously, you want to file the claim as soon as you can, document as much as you can, take as many pictures as you can. And the process is very, very simple. You just call or you go to any of their websites. I mean, you can even Google any insurance company's name, file a claim, and there's a link. And you just give them the information and they're going to ask you a lot of questions. And that's where the documentation, the photos, all that stuff comes in. The more you have, the more legitimate it looks. And like, there is a lot of insurance fraud, unfortunately, and they do investigate that. So, make sure you just do your due diligence and you take care of it. And also, if you have tenants there, take care of it as soon as possible. Just be a good person.
Yeah, great.
I like to see the goodwill. The insurance companies really appreciate that, because they're insuring risk. And when they see people acting like good people and being good persons, they're more willing to be open and work with you.
Yeah, so I think really the keys, as you mentioned, is be quick, provide as much as information as you can, document everything. And in this sense, the investor should be aware that here he needs to do some more activities, because sometimes clients might think that, okay, I'm working with an insurance agent, so he's going to do everything and file the claim. It's not like that. You can get some, consultation, advice, direction, but it is the landlord responsibility to file the claim, to gather information from property management, etc. So this is something,
Or it can also be done by the property management company, but no matter what, they're going to want to talk to the owner, the landlord at some point. But a lot of times a good property management company will take care of all of it for you, between the agent and the company and the claims adjuster.
Great. I have one last question that I prepared, and really I went through many of the deals that we have done together for, I think, hundreds of property
It's a lot. I have a tracker. It's close to, yeah, it's close to it.
So one of the things that I want also to mention, and that's a question that also came from some of the owners, at least for owners that we have done together a portfolio of properties, like they're buying 5, 10, 15 properties. We had a few clients like that. And they, one of the things we have done for them is an umbrella insurance policy. So can you talk a bit about what is this product, when and why should we consider such?
An umbrella is only ever really needed for any of these investors when you have more than the amount of liability on a single policy in total properties under one LLC. If that makes sense.
An example?
Yeah, so let's say most of these policies have $500,000 essentially of liability. That's what I usually put on there. It's $500,000. Most of these houses aren't worth, like there's nothing there that's going to usually be more liable than that. Liability, so 500,000 is good. And basically, essentially, the liability is just the amount of money they're going to sue you for. So if you have unless you have a ton of houses under one LLC, like a lot of houses with the same LLC name, there's just no need for an umbrella. You know, I'd say you need the value of the matters as well. But if it's not more than 5 houses on one LLC, you don't really need an umbrella. I mean, it can't hurt. But for the cost, the value is not there in the cost. But if you're extra paranoid, just like if you want a DP3 and you want an umbrella and all that stuff, that's great. We can do it if you want to pay for it. It's just not usually necessary unless you have a lot of houses listed under the same LLC. So because then your liability is greater, your liability umbrella is greater, and that's when you need the umbrella.
Mm-hmm. So let's say I have a $100,000 property, and I have five properties under an LLC. I have an accumulated, let's say, liability in terms of dwelling, in terms of the dwelling of $500,000. So as long as I have liability of $500,000, I'm pretty good. If I'm going beyond the 5 properties within the LLC, it's something that I need to take a closer look into, or maybe consider another LLC.
Or there's the option of, I have other companies that will do $1 million. If you want to pay a little more, you can just get $1 million on a policy and don't have to get an umbrella.
Thank you, Dylan. We really covered a lot in this conversation, and I think it will be really helpful for the people who listen to us to get a much broader understanding about insurance before they approach use the insurance agent. Is there anything else that maybe I didn't ask you and you get questions from investors and you want to add? Anything?
All I would say is that the last thing I would add is basically that after seeing insurance for a long time, no one ever thinks they need insurance until they need the insurance. And then when they don't have it, they learn their lesson. Don't cheap out on insurance, period. That's my best advice. As an agent, I don't, on my own. It's just, if you are good at making money and you're a good business person and you're good at what you're doing and you're buying these houses to make more money as assets, protect them.
Yes, protect them, and also think about the risk and be proactive on managing the risk.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Don't buy old house. I would say one thing we didn't touch on. Don't buy really. I know in Cleveland there's a ton of them, but if it says the word Cleveland and the house is really old, it's probably not that great of an investment. I'm just telling you.
When you say like in Cleveland, so I think...
Just look at the pictures online before you even hear anything else. Just Google it and look at all the pictures you can find. If you wouldn't go outside with your kids and the house is over 100 years old.
Yeah, I agree. Great tips. Thank you for the information and the patience. I think it was very helpful. And I'm looking forward to doing more business and more conversation with you. So thank you for that, Dylan.
Thank you, Nir. I appreciate our business relationship, and I enjoyed this. So thank you. Let me know when the videos are available. I'd like to check it out.
For sure. I will share it with you.
All right. You have a great day, Nir. Take care, buddy.
You too. Take care, my friend.